scoile, tá áthas orm fáilte a chur roimh go Shan Nioclas. Gan áras is lá starúil don scoil inniu. Mar ní vinnig a hagan ónaithe ó orm na Heireann go dtí an ceantar seo Bearna na Gaoithe. Tá míad go léir ag timnú le cumóra céad bliana áireamach na cásca, agus beidh cumóra speisialta a gcuin sa scoil le linn mí Martha. Bhain an buíochas a gháilibh as ucht bhór gúirt go dtí an scoil inniu. Agus níos lean míad a raig leis an runna.
Díomh go léir? Cos a táisih? An bhfuil ceann chuid as Bearna? Just to make sure that everybody understands. How was everyone today? That's great. First of all, I want to thank you all very much for letting us come in to talk to you today. So thank you. I'd also like to thank everybody else who's here. So we have your parents, we have some members of the board. So everyone, thank you all very much. Second of all, though, I'd like to apologise. I know you're all very busy in class, so I'm sorry to be taking up your time. We'll get you back to class quickly. Or do you want me to keep you here? Yeah. Why did you say that then? Will we keep you a bit longer? Yeah. How about I make a deal with you so? If you're on your best behaviour and you answer all my questions, I'll keep you here as long as I can. That sound good? Yes. Well, the first question I have for you then is, can somebody please tell me why I'm here? Yeah?
Because of the Easter Rising.
Brilliant. Any other reason? Yeah?
To present the flag.
Yeah? Present the flag, yeah?
To tell us about the army.
I will tell you about the army as well, yeah? Yeah?
And the proclamation.
Brilliant. That's all brilliant answers. So, next year is the 100-year anniversary of the 1916 Rising, like you said. And to celebrate that, we're going around to every single school in Ireland and we're presenting them with the Irish flag and a copy of the 1916 Proclamation. Now, can somebody explain to me what the Proclamation is? Yeah?
What they said in the GPO.
Yeah, brilliant. They said it outside the GPO. Who said it? Anybody know? Yeah?
Padraig Pearse.
Brilliant. Padraig Pearse. Anybody know how many people wrote it though?
7.
7. Very good. And anybody want to tell me roughly what it said? Not exactly now, but just the ideas in it. Anybody know? Yeah?
Get independence.
What's that?
They were saying to get independence.
Kind of like that, yeah? Anything else? Yeah?
Home rule.
Yeah, I did a touched on that as well.
Civil rights.
Yeah, that's closer to it, very good. Yeah?
To stop the rising.
Well, that's actually a good answer. It's a good point. Yeah, they did want to stop the rising. Anything else? No? Well, you're very close. You're a lot closer than most schools. So, what they did was, and like you said to me, those 7 people wrote this proclamation back in 1916. And in it, they spoke about what they wanted to happen for the future of Ireland and how they wanted Ireland to be. And they spoke about a lot of things. They spoke about equality, equal rights, equal opportunities, all that kind of stuff for everyone. Now, before I go into any more detail on it, there's somebody going to read out a paragraph of the proclamation for us. So can I invite them up, will you?
Yeah.
This is probably the most important paragraph. So is everyone listening very carefully? Yeah? You all listening? Brilliant.
The Irish Republic is entitled to and hereby claims the allegiance of every Irishman and Irishwoman. The Republic guarantees religious and civil liberty, equal rights and equal opportunities to all its citizens and declares its resolve and to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation and of all its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally and oblivious of the differences carefully fostered by an alien government, which have divided a minority from the majority in the past.
Thank you very much. Can we get a round of applause? Very difficult English, so you did a great job. Thank you. So there's 2 main things I want to talk about the proclamation and about that paragraph that you read out. The first one I've already touched on, that those 7 people wrote that proclamation, and it was their view of what they wanted the future of Ireland to be like. So they spoke about equality, equal rights, equal opportunities, like you mentioned, religious and civil freedoms as well. And the main point of that is, it was for everybody, regardless of who you are or where you came from, what your background is. It was equality and equal rights for everybody in Ireland. And I can't stress that, no matter who you are or where you come from. It didn't single out one specific group, it was for everybody. Does everyone understand that? Yeah. And the second thing, and it was specifically in your paragraph, that's why we asked you to read it out, it talks about one very important thing. It talks about cherishing the children of the nation. It talks about the importance of the children of the nation. Do you know you're probably the most important people in Ireland? Do you know that? Yeah? Oh, you do know that? Well, ye are. Because the future of Ireland belongs to ye. Ye are the future of Ireland. And that's why the proclamation specifically says to cherish the children of the nation. So because of that, we have a little project we'd like you to do. Will you do a project for me? Yeah. What the project is, we're going to present you with this proclamation. Now if you can find somewhere special in your school to put that up, but beside that, like I said, the 7 people wrote this proclamation and it was their view of the future of Ireland. We're now nearly 100 years since then. We want you to come up with your own proclamation for your future, for the next 100 years. Can you do that for me? Will you come up with your own proclamation? And now you can put in it whatever you want to happen for the next 100 years. It doesn't have to be as technical or as complicated as this. It can be whatever you want. And then you can put it up on the wall beside this one because it's just as important. Will you do that for me? Brilliant. Now, before I give you your flag, I have a few questions I'm going to ask you about. So this is a very obvious question, I hope, and I'm sure everybody knows the answer to it. So I expect you all to shout out the answer to me. What are the colours of the flag? Go on, shout it out. Green, white and orange. Very good. Now this is a bit more difficult, so I'll look to the older kids. Why are the colours green, white and orange? You give me green.
For the Republicans.
Yeah, someone give me orange. Yeah?
Catholics.
No. That was the green. Yeah? Yeah, very good. And who knows what white is? Or you can shout it out.
Peace.
Very good. Peace. Now this is a very, very hard question. Not many people know the answer to this, but I'm going to chance it anyway. Does anybody know who designed the Irish flag? Anybody? I think a few people know.
Is it somebody called Pierce or?
No. It was designed before then. Anybody know?
Waterford man.
Yeah, it was Waterford man.
And his statue is in Waterford on a
Yeah,
horse.
it's also in Montana, the exact same one.
Yes.
I know you know. There's a certain reaction you get when you ask that question, and you know if they know or not. And I know some of you know, and you've been told, but you might have forgotten. Do you want to take a guess?
Oh, not me.
No. Where does it say that? Yeah? No.
The Vikings.
No. No. No, it was none of the 7. It was back. It was back about.
I wonder if he gave them his initials.
Yes.
That has right.
TFM.
And if you're in Waterford and you see a statue of a man on a horse, it might be him. You look at it.
What's that? Brilliant. Yeah. I don't know if he'd like to be called that. Very good. Anybody know what his middle name was?
What might F be for?
Frank.
TL.
No. No. Yes, there we go. Brilliant. Well done. Now I have to ask you a question. Did somebody whisper that to you? Anytime that somebody's sitting close to another fair play to them, I didn't catch you. I usually catch you. You're going to go back. So, very good. Thomas Francis Marr. And like your principal said, he was a Waterford man. So, he designed the flag back in 1848. And back then there was problems between 2 major communities. First community was the Catholics, like he said, are the Gaelics of Ireland, and the second community was the Protestants, or the followers of William of Orange. Now, he wanted to create a flag, or a symbol of peace and unity between these 2 communities. So he did, and he used green for the Catholics, or the Gaelics of Ireland, he used orange for the followers of William of Orange, or the Protestants, and then he separated those 2 communities with white as a symbol of peace and unity between them. Now, we still use that flag today, but not just as a symbol of peace and unity between only those two communities. It's a symbol of peace between everybody in Ireland, no matter who you are or where you come from or what your background is. It's a symbol of peace for everyone that lives in Ireland, that calls himself Irish, that flies underneath that flag. And that's how the flag and the proclamation tie into each other. They both talk about peace, unity, equality, equal rights, equal opportunities, religious freedoms, civil freedoms for everybody. And like I keep saying, regardless of your background, regardless of who you are or where you come from. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Now before I give you your flag, I need to know you're going to take care of it. Will you take care of the flag for me? Yes. So should you drop it on the ground?
No.
Should you drag it on the ground at all?
No.
Should you write on the flag?
No.
No, and that's because the Irish flag is our national flag, and no matter where you go in the whole world, when people see that flag, they know that's belonged to us. It's belonged to the Irish people. It's a symbol of who we are and where we've come from, and it actually has a history sewn into it. That's why we always treat it with respect, and we always take care of it. Do you all understand that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Now everyone knows you put a flag on a flagpole, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a few flags and a few flagpoles, which one goes the highest? Yeah? Yeah, the Irish flag, very good. That's because the Irish flag is our national flag, and you always fly your national flag the highest in the country you're in. That's why we fly the Irish flag the highest. And should you leave the flag up overnight? No. No, you put it up at sunrise and you take it down at sunset. Very good. You're after answering all my questions, so I have to stop stalling now. I'm going to have to give you. So, can I invite up the two people that are going to accept the flag and the proclamation? It's the oldest and the youngest.
Yeah.
So who's the oldest?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. So,
Judge wants to take a picture here now. You want to turn around a bit? Yeah, turn around.
Do you mind?
Okay, yeah, great. Lovely.
Important day. Because at 12 o'clock on March the 15th, every single school in Ireland are going to be raising their flag at the exact same time. So will you raise your new flag for me at that time?
Yeah.
At what time? On what day?
March 15.
Brilliant, so you're definitely listening to me. And if you're very lucky that day, your teacher might have a party because it's such an important day. So just before I finish, I want to thank you all very much. Before I started here, your principal promised me that you'd be on your best behaviour, which you were, and she also promised that you'd know the answers to all my questions, which you did. So she said if that did happen, to mark the day and to mark the occasion, she decided you could have no homework today. Sing our own the bean very well as well though. So what we'll do is I'm going to hand you back to your principal and you can sing that for us, but then at the very end I'll come back up and let you ask us a few questions. That sound good? So that's what I'm going to do. So thank you all very much and I'm going to hand you back to your principal.
Now, Mrs. Malone has been running us through this and we've made great progress on it. So now the couple are in normal. Okay, so Shasta Gailey, shall we? Do you mind?
Irish Army take place in World War II in the 80s?
The Irish Army didn't have any place in World War II. Now there was people that went from Ireland to England and fought for the English Army. The Irish Army didn't fight in World War II or one. Eh? Yeah?
He's very good in the army.
It's a little bit less than a teacher's pay.
Are there any girls in the army?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, we have a load of girls in the army, and we're always trying to recruit more girls. And it's very important, just on that point, not just for girls, but it's very important to understand that no matter who you are, like I was saying earlier on, or where you come from, there's always opportunities. It should always be the same opportunities for everybody. So we have loads of girls in the army, and they do the same job as everybody else. They're not looked at as girls, we're not looked at as men, we're looked at as soldiers, and soldiers can be from anybody. So, and you do the same jobs, doesn't matter who you are. And it's very important to always remember that. You should never be restricted by anything like that, whether you're male, female, whether you're from somewhere else, whether you have anything. Do you all understand that? Brilliant. Yeah?
How long have you been in the army?
I'm not in the army too long. I'm only in 3 years. And Ian is...
I'm in 7 years.
Yeah. So, not too long. We usually have a sergeant with us that's maybe 8 years now. So, yeah. That's the best thing about the army, and that's one of the main reasons that I joined, and I love it so much. Every single day for me is totally different. I can be doing absolutely anything. I can do anything from running ranges, firing weapons on ranges, to training new recruits, to working with the Gardaí, working with the banks, working with the prison service, to running courses, to being on courses. And there's so many different courses in the army, everything from computers the whole way to skydiving and stuff like that, and actual sea diving. So there's huge amounts of stuff that way. Yeah, I could be doing anything. But the same way as that is, like, I could be working at different times than a normal job. For example, I started work yesterday at 8:30, and that was my duty, it's a 24-hour duty. I finished this morning at 8:30, and I came straight out here. So you can be there's a lot of different things you could be doing, and there's different requirements than a normal job, but it's brilliant. Yeah?
Do you travel much?
What do you mean by travel? Around Ireland or overseas?
Overseas?
To get overseas, especially for me, there's two different ranks in the army, rank structures in the army. So I'm an officer. For officers to get overseas, it's quite difficult because there's a huge waiting list. I put my name down for going overseas at the start of this year, and by the time it gets to my name, it'll probably be 2017, maybe 2018. So a huge list that way, so it's hard for us to go overseas because there's limited spaces. The same is kind of with Ian. He's in 7 years and he hopes to go overseas next year. So it's difficult enough. But the beauty about the Irish Army, and probably one of the better things, is because there's a huge demand, and because there's so many people that want it, you will never actually be told you're going overseas, you're going to a different country. You always have a choice, and you will apply for it. And even then, when you do apply for it, you're waiting a long time for it, which is different than most other armies. Once you join the army, you can guarantee you'll be going over to fight somewhere within a year. So, yeah.
Do you sleep in the army?
I sleep at home. Well, most of the time. I live in Waterford, so I travel up and down. Apart from yesterday, it was a 24-hour duty. Everyone does duties, and it happens maybe once a month or something like that. And it's not always on a Sunday; it can be any day during the week. But apart from that, I start at 9 o'clock in the morning. I finish at 4:30. I just travel up and down to work. Yeah.
Why do they have the red wood?
And that's a very long answer as well. Most wars are caused by, well, most of them will be caused by greed, and that's where the stem of everything really comes from. Greed. People want more than they have, and regardless of how much they ever get, they still want more, because you can never really satisfy greed 100%, and that's basically where it comes from. Now, they may put up different fronts, like they may say this is for the benefit of a group of people, or they may say this is a religious benefit, but at the end of the day, I think the stem of most things is wanting Hope that answers your question. I was trying to make it as small of an answer as I could. Yeah?
That is the oil don't get killed.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, good.
How many people are in the army?
We have about 12,000 people, and that's made up of full-time and part-time. So we have 9,500 full-time people, and we have the reserve defence force, which is about 2,500. Yeah?
How did you get here?
Jeep. Yeah. You won't believe me. What's my favourite thing to do? You won't believe me, but it's actually coming out to visit schools. Yeah, and I'm serious because I get to meet so many new people. I get to hear the craziest of questions. You wouldn't believe it. I expect some crazy questions. Now, I'm not leaving here till they get a mad one. Yeah, so it's probably the best thing I've done. Yeah? I have a good few friends that are stationed there. I was only there. I was there once. Oh, for blood? No, I haven't done any blood. Yeah.
What age do you have to be to join the army?
17. So another year. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What vehicles do you drive?
We have a lot of different types of vehicles because you need different types for different jobs. So we have everything from smallest to be a motorbike, then you have jeeps, we have cars, we have jeeps, we have trucks, we have different types of trucks. We have trucks for carrying equipment in stores, we have trucks for carrying troops, people. Then we have different types of tanks. We call one the Moag and a Scorpion. The Moag is like a tank, except it has wheels instead of tracks, so it's more mobile on roads and stuff like that. You can dig up the roads. And then we have boats, a load of different types of boats, and helicopters and airplanes. So we have a lot of different types. Yeah?
What barracks do you work in?
Kilkenny. It's the closest one to my house. Yeah?
Where are you from, Waterford?
No, don't worry. No, you don't. Yeah. That's where I live. Yeah? Yeah?
What did you join the army if you knew people get killed?
Because not a lot of people get killed in the Irish Army, because our role overseas are mostly peacekeeping. We don't fight other people. We don't intentionally fight other people. If we go overseas, we go over to stop fighting. Whereas if I was to join the English Army, we'd be going engaged in an actual combat and actually fighting, which is a much higher casualty rate. Is that okay? Yeah.
What first did you fight in?
Sorry?
What first did you fight in?
What, wars?
Yeah.
None. Not yet anyway. Yeah?
Did you help out with the floods?
I didn't, no. You didn't either, no. Yeah. I don't think there's too many floods around this area, was there? No. You see, yeah, so Kilkenny Barracks will be responsible for kind of the Kilkenny area, probably into Waterford, maybe a little bit of Tipperary, and they didn't really have too many floods around there, and well, they didn't need the assistance of the army. Now, if they did, I am the platoon commander for the flood relief, so I'd be called. So, yes, but we didn't the short answer. Now, a few of my friends said, yeah.
Do you know my uncle Patrick?
Where is he based? Kilkenny. What's his surname? Patrick Doyle, do you know? Yes.
Paddy
There's about 550 people in Kilkenny Barracks, so it's hard to know everybody. Yeah.
Would you know a lot of everyone by their name and all that?
No. Like I said, there are about 12,000 people in the army. It's very hard to know everybody. Even in Kilkenny, there's 550 people. I don't know anyone. I don't know everybody. No. Sorry. Yeah?
How far have you gone in parts of the army?
I've travelled all over Ireland and I've been to France with the army. Yeah?
Do
Do you know Kilkenny who get water all the times?
Of course. And I've made sure he's paid for it as well. And I also know the other two lads as well.
Yeah.
Paul Murphy and
Oh,
yeah. Oh, he's paid for it as well.
Imagine if you got stuck in a flood.
You probably get wet. And then you have to get somebody to tow you out. Yeah?
They're not animals.
There is, yeah. Oh, right. We've about 180 of them. Yeah? So we'll take 3 more questions. I'll leave your principal pick who's going to ask them. Put her on the spot.
Well, there's a young man here in the second row has his hand up for the very first time, from the very start. Sorry, Jules, have you a question?
Did you save people?
Do I see people?
Save.
Oh, do I save people? That's the beauty about the Irish Army. When we go overseas, we work as peacekeepers. So our job is to protect civilians, to save people. So that's the best thing about, one of the best things about when you go overseas. So we're not an army that goes invading people, we're not an army that goes armed, or that try to occupy places. We go over and try to help people. That's, so yes. But I have a good question though.
Very good. I have another lad now that I want you to ask, give him the opportunity to ask this question because he's really interested in the army, and that is Jay.
Why, you missed the chest, and why do you climb mountains?
We do, of course. And it's one of the harder things about our training as well. We climb a lot of mountains, the daytime and the night time.
Okay. And there's over here as well, I think Owen, because Owen has his hand up for a long time as well. Or Aidan, sorry.
How many women are in the army?
Oh, that's a good question. There's not a lot. There's about 8%, I think. So that would be maybe close to 900 or 1,000.
Well, one of our past pupils here, Miriam, joined the army.
Yeah?
Yeah. And when she was in primary school here, she was the only girl in her class. Yeah, so, and she went on and she was very proud of joining the Irish Army. Yeah, okay, we'll see Ronan.
My great granddad was in an army in Cork.
Yeah?
Okay, good. Okay, we'll go to Jamie.
What's your name?
My name is Shane. Zine.
Right.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Shane. Very good.
Now, let me see. Callum, will you finish the book?
When were you born?
What's that?
When were you born?
When was I born? I was born in the 80s. No, I'm serious.
Okay, one last question. Let me see. Somebody who hasn't asked a question, maybe yet. Joe, yeah.
How long were you training to be in the army?
That's actually a very good question, yeah. So, do you remember me saying earlier on that there's 2 rank structures in the army? Anybody remember me saying that? So, you can join the army as a recruit, like Ian did, and your training takes 9 months to do, which is a very long, compared to other armies, it's very long training, but that's why they're one of the best skilled forces in the world. And my training then takes nearly 2 years as well. And I joined as a cadet, and that makes me an officer then. So 9 months and 2 years.
Okay, well, on well, her thought. We're leaving off with. So, Gorvila Mohammed, agus Dunari. Yeah.